but now it looks like things are finally.
Hi, everybody. I have good news and I have better news. So the good news is that this afternoon you'll have an opportunity to help elect Dr. Julian Arambula because we're having a phone bank for him from 4 to 6. And on your agenda, it tells you what room, and I might even tell you what room. From 4 to 6 in lower level 20C, there's a phone bank for Dr. Julian Arambula. So please help us win this special election. And now the better news. We have our state controller, Betty Yee, the champion of the grassroots effort to become the Democratic controller of the state of California. My friend, my controller, Betty Yee.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take out T-C-T. Sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me, Little Say. Sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me. Yeah, little bit, Little Say, just a little bit. I get tired, little bit, keep on trying, just a little bit. You're running out of food, little bit, I ain't lying, just a little bit. Read, what you say, just a little bit.
Thank you, Democrats. Good morning. Thank you. Before I start my remarks, I really want to offer my own sincere thank you to our Senator Barbara Boxer, who has been such a courageous leader for us in Washington. And I just have to say, as a woman, and now having the privilege of leading in part in California, she has been such a wonderful model for all of us, and we just owe her such a debt of gratitude. Thank you, Senator Boxer. So how fitting it is that we are gathered here in Silicon Valley, the home of innovation and technologies that have transformed lives here and across the globe. The microchip that defined the electronic age, the microprocessor that made us digital, technologies that connect us all. People around the world continue to pin their hopes on California to lead in overcoming the challenges of today, and leading we are. California is leading the charge in advancing women in the workplace, requiring equal pay for the same work, and protecting employees from retaliation when discussing their pay. California is leading the charge in acknowledging the contributions of undocumented immigrants, providing in-state tuition, driver's licenses, health care for their children. California is leading the charge in upholding LGBT rights, standing up and quashing efforts to repeal protections for transgender students. California is leading the charge in expanding reproductive health rights, ensuring women and teens have access to reproductive health information and services free from coercion. California is leading the charge in battling global climate change, setting pollution reduction targets and renewable and efficient energy goals that will spur the next wave of innovation. And California can lead the charge with 100% of its Democratic grassroots activists backing our progressive candidates and causes by donating to Dem 2016. Yet, fellow Democrats, we today face the greatest leadership challenge: how to restore dignity and respect to our politics. And I am not talking just about the discourse between Democrats and Republicans. I am talking about how Democrats must lead by example and how we restore civility in our work together for the common good. All around us, we meet growing numbers who are angry, who feel the economy has screwed them, who feel their government has neglected them, who are not sure where to turn to place blame for their plight. We as Democrats know how Republicans continue to reward corporate captains and the wealthy, such that inequality is rampant. We know Republicans have no regard for endless spending on war at the expense of domestic spending to move Americans forward. Yet somehow, this does not include serving our veterans after they have honorably served our country. We see Republicans demonize working families for giving voice to the need to earn living wages, access affordable health care, and count on retirement security. Yet it is we as Democrats who must shoulder the responsibility for the growing disdain of politics. And today I feel compelled to call out the rhetoric both presidential campaigns have been slinging that I believe will weaken us as a Democratic Party. And more importantly, will undermine our democracy and our ability to achieve what is for the greater common good. How dare Democrats accuse Secretary of State Clinton of being too aggressive and too ambitious? Because she is a woman? Leaders must be aggressive, especially in these troubled times. How dare Democrats criticize Senator Sanders for defining himself as a democratic socialist? He is fighting for social and economic human rights for every woman, man, and child. And how do shouts of English only find their way in any Democratic gathering? This will not be a question of which candidate is doing a better job of making the other wrong. This fundamentally is about who we as Democrats believe we are as a society. Are we a civil society who believe that our freedom of speech comes with responsibility? Do we take the time to learn and understand the cause of the anger and fear around us? Do we model for our children and youth how to disagree with others in a respectful way? Do we encourage discussion of the facts and issues and healthy exchange of ideas and views? Do we realize that we must live together with differences in our respective histories, experiences, and thoughts, recognizing that these differences are the foundation of a great democracy? Now, Republicans often assert that our founding fathers fostered and encouraged incivility as they established our government and charted our economy. And no doubt our founding fathers disagreed about much in the creation of our nation. Yet decades later, the world would come to recognize the promises of our democracy. When the French sent Alexis de Tocqueville to the United States in 1831, he observed the following effects of equality on compassion, speaking of the covenant that exists between all citizens of a democracy. Quote, "They all feel themselves subject to the same weakness and the same dangers, and their interests, as well as their sympathy, makes it a rule with them to lend each other mutual assistance when required. The more equal social conditions become, the more do men and women display the reciprocal disposition to oblige each other." Democrats, together we can be of service to others by working and helping to build a fair economy that lifts the 6 million, yes, 6 million among us in California who live in poverty, the hundreds of thousands living on the streets or in their cars, and the 5 million plus among us facing hunger each and every single day. With the approach of these historic elections this year, let us inflict no useless ills. Let us be happy to relieve the grief of others. Let us not be disinterested, but let us be humane. Let us be proud Democrats. Thank you very much.
R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me.